If you've seen my How to Make $1,000,000 video, you know that I've talked about saving money into investment accounts, whether it be retirement accounts or non-qualified accounts, to take advantage of compounding interest over long periods of time, which really doesn't cost you all that much now and can grow into large, or some would consider huge, sums of money later in the future. But what I didn't touch on there was exactly how someone might go about investing that money. And I got a couple questions after making the video. It's really not that difficult, but it can create a lot of confusion because if this is the first time you've ever opened an account to start investing, you really have no idea what you're getting into. So I wanted to make a little bit of a beginner's guide here on how to really get started with investing money into an account. So I'm going to use a Roth IRA as an example here. I am a licensed financial advisor, but I'm not going to give any specific investment advice or financial advice in this video on what option is best for you. I'm just going to use the Roth IRA for this illustration. Do a quick Google search, find out which investment provider you'd like to use. I would say the easiest ones are Schwab, Vanguard, or Fidelity. There are tons of others out there. They will all work pretty well, so it really doesn't make a difference which one you go with. They all have really low online fees, usually zero fees now, and they'll get the job done if you're just looking for a simple non-qualified or Roth IRA savings account. Somewhere on the website, you're going to see a button for create an account or create a login. Just go ahead and do that, and then you will need to open an account. And again, in this illustration, you're going to click retirement accounts and then Roth IRA, or it might just list Roth IRA as the first account. Enter a couple pieces of personal information, and then 5 minutes later, you'll have an investment account open in your name. Whichever website you should choose should then direct you to link your bank account, and you'll give your checking account number, routing number, and then you can direct deposit money from your bank account into your investment account. It might take a couple days before you can get that money invested, but the point is, with 20 total clicks and keystrokes, you can get yourself to the point where you can start investing. The big question that I think people end up having is what types of investments should they buy? I made a passive versus active investing video on if you should just be buying Vanguard funds, because if you look for financial advice online, most online gurus are just going to tell you to only ever buy Vanguard funds. Vanguard funds are good, they're fine. I think there are a lot of other good investment providers out there, so I don't really get the whole hype on Vanguard, but you could go ahead and use them if you like. I'm not going to give any specific mutual fund or indexed fund or ETF recommendations in this video. I will say that the one question you want to answer for yourself is what risk tolerance do you want to invest at? And this might be considered a relative concept because some people are going to want to use a higher risk profile than others, but basically, in general, a high risk profile is considered a all stock indexed fund or ETF, and a very low risk profile would be like an all treasury bond index fund or ETF. And if you're in your 20s and you just get started investing and you're okay with risk and fluctuations in your account and losing money when the stock market goes down, then you'd be okay with using a more aggressive or very aggressive investment option. So again, I'm not going to talk about what those are. Like Warren Buffett says, the easiest option for most new investors is to use any ETF or indexed mutual fund. So if I were you, without giving a specific advice, I would get on Google and I would type in, whether, say I used a Fidelity account, I would type in Fidelity stock ETF, because you're going to buy stocks, because you're going to be more aggressive, because you're okay with losing money to risk more. And there's going to be 5 results. The first 5 should all be good tickers. You can click on it, make sure it is a fund that's invested in the stock market. So if you're not exactly sure on how to do that, maybe run it by a couple family members or someone who might be a little more knowledgeable. All you need is a 3 or 4 letter ticker. One example could be ZZP, and I'll just pick some letters that I think probably are not a real ticker. Send ZZP over to your friend or family member that could give you a little bit of tips on, hey, is this actually a stock market fund? You can look it up in Yahoo Finance and see the holding, see if it's invested in stocks, and if it is, that would be a fine ETF or indexed fund for the risk profile that you need to choose for yourself on being most appropriate. Once you decide what investment you want to hold, you can navigate over to the trade screen on your brokerage platform on the website that you open your account on. Click a buy order for the number of shares that you want into your ZZP fund. Make sure that if you have $2,000 in the account, that you don't buy more than $2,000 worth of shares in that investment, and then hit buy. There are maybe a couple other steps to that process, like listing beneficiaries on your account. Should something happen to you, who do you want the money to then go to? And all that is important too. The 4 or 5 things I've laid out here are the easiest baseline steps you need to take to get yourself to the minimum point where you're actually putting money into a retirement account or a non-qualified account and investing those dollars into the market. Let me know in the comments if anyone has any questions or anything that I can help out with. And as always, thanks for watching.